All right, coming out of recent videos, I want to discuss of the centers that I've talked about. A guy that I thought I'd already done some sort of a career video on, but I guess not. So obviously his career's not over. It's just getting started. He's only 25 years of age, and it feels like he's been around forever. Number one draft pick in 2013, and that is Nathan MacKinnon. So for MacKinnon, honestly, this is a guy who's become one of the best forwards in the game, and we all think he's fantastic, including in this year's playoffs where he went on an amazing point streak, right? But how he gets here is kind of a different way of getting here. So his first year in 2013-2014, 82 games, 24 goals, 39 assists, 63 points. He wins the Calder trophy, and Colorado makes it to the playoffs, 7 games, 2 goals, 8 assists, 10 points. Now, of course, the analytical community was glad they were out because they didn't think Colorado belonged in there because the analytics were bad. But MacKinnon gets the Calder trophy. And so there's this feeling that, all right, things are looking really good in Colorado. MacKinnon's going to be great. And then the following season happens. He only plays 64 games, 14 goals, 24 assists, 38 points. And that's where the choke word starts coming in. That's where the bust word starts coming in too. Like, oh, he's just not good enough. And it's interesting because this is right about where, I start making videos and this and that. And then the 2015-2016 season, as the channel's coming up, 72 games, 21 goals, 31 assists, 52 points. And it's noteworthy because really at that stage, he's three years into his career. He hadn't got back to his career high as a rookie, and it wasn't certain whether or not he would. And there was certainly a lot of criticism around the hockey community about MacKinnon. Now, July 8th of 2016, before the 2016-2017 season, he signs a 7-year, $44 million contract. $6.3 million cap hit. We all look at MacKinnon's cap hit now and go, that's a miracle. What a great cap hit. That's fantastic. That was not what was being said in 2016 when he signed it. There were definitely risks there. He was coming off of his third year. His points totals still were not where they were expected to be. And then the following season, he actually trends in the opposite direction. 82 games, so 10 more games, 5 less goals, 16, 37 assists, which is 6 more, and only 1 more point, even though he played 10 more games with 53 points. So that huge contract, well, it kind of looks like it might be a weight around the neck of Joe Sakic. Sakic, I don't know. Duchesne wanted out. They weren't making a trade for him. MacKinnon, things weren't looking that great with MacKinnon either. And then, of course, the Duchesne trade would happen, and MacKinnon gets things going. 2017-2018 is where he really hits his stride. 74 games, 39 goals, which was 9th in the NHL that year. 58 assists and 97 points, which is 5th in the NHL that year. Second team All-Star and number 2 in Hart voting. 2017-2018, and I know Avs fans are still upset about this, and I apologize, but it is worthy of note. Taylor Hall had 1,264 points in the Hart voting. MacKinnon had 1,194. That is very close. That is a very close vote for the Hart Trophy. MacKinnon was as close as you can get without winning it. Now, in the playoffs, 6 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. So if you want to make the statement that, well, MacKinnon still hasn't done it in the playoffs yet, well, you're right. But 2018-2019, that storyline changes too. He plays all 82 games, 41 goals, which is 6th in the entire league that year, 58 assists, 99 points, which is 7th. I remember that being heartbreaking that both Johnny Gaudreau and Nathan MacKinnon were right on the doorstep and didn't reach 100 points. Just heartbreaking. He's 6th in Hart voting that year. 12 games, 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points. And of course, Colorado Avalanche upset the Calgary Flames in the first round before bowing out in the second round. But this is where we start to get into that conversation about, so how good can Colorado get? That Gerard guy they got in the whole Duchesne thing, he's pretty good. And they got that pick that became Byram. Things are looking pretty good for Colorado. So the season we just finished, MacKinnon only plays 69 games because of the pause, right? 35 goals, which is 9th in the NHL, 58 assists, which is 6th, and he gets 95 points, which is 5th. So he's a second team All-Star again this year. He's number 2 in the Hart voting. And then we see this thing that sometimes happens with voting where your Lady Byng winner is the guy who's the runner-up for the Hart, as if the voters say, well, I'm not going to vote him first for the Hart, and I feel bad that he's probably not going to win it, so I'll put his name down for Lady Byng. Something that we saw in the 80s, too. But in the playoffs that we just finished in September, this is where MacKinnon really reaches that next level. 15 games, 9 goals, 16 assists, 25 points. An amazing run. And then when that run is stopped by Dallas is when Colorado's run is stopped. But of course, they were down to their third string goaltender. And there's only so much MacKinnon can do by himself. 40 games in his playoff career thus far. 20 goals, 34 assists, 54 points. Those are excellent totals in the playoffs. Regular season, 525 games, 190 goals, 305 assists, 495 points. He has 30 less points than he has games played because he got off to the slow start. But I'm pretty sure that a couple of years from now, his points will be above his games played. And yeah, MacKinnon is going to get that Hart at some point. This year, Draisaitl got it with his fantastic season, 1,309 points to MacKinnon's 1,162. So MacKinnon gets almost the same points total for his votes as he got in 2017-2018, but Draisaitl was more of the overwhelming victor in this than Hall was, as the stretch between the two is bigger. So, does he get it in 2021? It's possible. It's very, very possible. That contract is signed until 2023. So it's 3 years until the Colorado Avalanche have to worry about giving him the raise that he's due. And at that point, he'll be 28 years of age. He's still going to be pretty good. The question mark I have with MacKinnon is, you know, does he get that Stanley Cup sooner or later? I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. And again, he proved a lot of people wrong, myself included. I did not have a great impression of MacKinnon through the first 4 years of his career. But boy, have the last 3 been fantastic. So, you know, kudos to him for turning things around and to the entire organization for doing so. And the fact that Colorado is as good as they are now says a lot about MacKinnon. It's not a coincidence that this team's suddenly a playoff team regularly when his stats get to where they were supposed to be when they drafted him first overall. He did win gold as well with Team Canada in 2015 at the World Championships, and he won silver in 2017. He has 31 points in 31 games played for Canadian men's teams. He has a very good chance of being, I'll say, the first-line center for Team Canada at the next Olympics, should the NHL end up finding a way to go. And that is the plan. And I could see MacKinnon centering the first line, or McDavid centering the first line. Does Crosby go on the third line? So if you're Canadian and you salivate at the idea of having MacKinnon, McDavid, and Crosby rolling out as your 3 centers, understandable. Maybe McDavid and has MacKinnon on the wing. There's been strange things that have happened with international teams, but my point still stands that MacKinnon is going to be a prominent player for Team Canada, and he's a legit superstar. So there you go. Nathan MacKinnon. The one thing with MacKinnon, too, that I wanted to mention was in 2017-2018, he was second in the entire National Hockey League in points per game. So he finishes 5th overall in points, but he was second in points per game. If not for those 8 games he misses, he would have ended up with well over 100 points. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. What is the limit for Nathan MacKinnon? And where do you rate him amongst today's players? Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.